Hi guys, welcome to Fierce and Pretty, and welcome to Rome. When we booked our trip to Rome, the world seemed like things were gonna improve, but little did we know that things were gonna turn out way worse than we could have even imagined. And I know that all of us, wherever we are in the world, are in the turmoil of mixed feelings about living our normal lives nowadays when other people are suffering in the war. But still, we were on a vacation, and I'm gonna focus on that on this video. So we spent a whole week in Rome, and Rome is always beautiful. And even with COVID situation, there were still quite many tourists in there, but still Rome was calmer than it has been before these times. And the thing that I love in Rome is that the city is so easy to access. You can walk all around. You can see all these ancient things next to each other. From Colosseum, you can just walk wherever and see all the places. And, well, there are great traveling videos of Rome if you want to know more specifics about where to go, what to see. But I just thought that I would share my highlights and why I love Rome. For me, this was the third time in the city, but I've never spent a whole week in there. But for hubby, it was the first time, and it was a great experience for me to share one of my favorite cities in the world with him, because I knew the places where to go and what to do. But it was also amazing to see through his eyes. And the first thing that we did, I wanted to show him my favorite place on the world, and it's the Pantheon Square. I've always loved Pantheon, and there's just something in that place. When you sit on that square, you sit on the steps of this fountain, there is just a particular atmosphere in that place that I haven't experienced anywhere else in Rome or anywhere else in the world. So that's why I love Pantheon so much. And it depends on what time of the day and which day you go there. But there will always be people, but you still can get amazing photos of it. And it's one of the free things that you can do in Rome. You can get to go inside these massive doors. And even though nowadays it's filled with Christian things, but Pantheon used to be the temple for the old gods. And even today, when you walk in through those doors, even hubby got the chills just entering the atmosphere. You can just feel the centuries upon centuries of worship in that place. And I only had one wish, that there would be somebody playing cello in the Pantheon Square, because I've heard that once live, but that didn't happen this time. But then I took my AirPods and listened to some cello music and made it happen. We had some lovely dinner by it one night, even though it's pricier, but it's totally worth to rent some space for there. But then when we took some electric scooters after the fun, great long dinner, well, that didn't end up so well, but only some scratches. But yeah, you should never mix alcohol and electric scooters. Street music is something that I love when I'm traveling wherever I'm going, and that's why I always carry a lot of change in my pocket, because it's just the best entertainment that you can have whenever you're traveling. Just hear people jamming. Even though I didn't hear the cello, this guitarist was kind of amazing. And with beer, street music gets even better. And even though I'm not Christian and the Vatican isn't that important to me anyways, but of course it's a cool place. We didn't go inside, but I got to show hubby the square, and I was all the time waiting that when will Evan McGregor jump with a parachute down from the roof, but he didn't. But instead we got to see this quite amazing sunset behind the Vatican. So that was something. And one important part for anybody who travels, especially to Italy, but wherever I go at least, food is always important. And that's why we were asking also recommendations from my brother, my friends, people who've been to, places that nobody knows or nobody's been. And we got to eat the most amazing pizzas at Ponce's Pizzerium. And you see the orange thing there? The orange pizza. It has pumpkin and sausage, and it was amazing, like mind-blowing. And as was the deep fried pasta carbonara ball, which I've never had before. But a lot of pizza, pasta, delicious homey food, and these witches in the restaurant next to our place were amazing. So I had done research before we left to all these cool places to see, like Porta Magicae, this magical door, but many of these places, were still closed or you couldn't go into them. And some places you couldn't take photos, like these crypts of the Capuchin monks, but still Happy was being naughty and took some pictures because, these are just insane places with skulls and pieces of bones of bodies and on top of bodies. Crazy places. One of the main places that I really wanted to visit was the Temple of Diana, even though this is just a small little kind of not even that old temple that's built there. But when we went, it's in a beautiful park. It was a beautiful day and I was so excited to go there and sit with that little altar. But for fuck's sake, somebody had made art inside that. You can see, and it's wrapped all around with plastic wrapping and this disgusting orange, thingy to cover the art. And the art was like fishing strings that somebody had glued leaves in it. And because of that, I couldn't step underneath this beautiful surface, this beautiful ceiling of the Temple of Diana. So again, I had to squeeze my camera in to take a picture of her up in the roof and all the beautiful little details in that temple. But boy, how I wished that I could have just gone in, because there was a little altar and I had a little thing that I brought to Diana from Finland. But, well, instead we hid it inside a crack in the marble steps, so at least it'll stay there. And after that I needed some grounding, so I went to walk in the park barefooted, and I sat in a meditation on the steps of the temple. And then we started walking, and I saw these runes painted in the asphalt, and it never became clear to me what they were, but I still had to follow them. And this is what we found at the end. And today we are in Pompeii, in Naples. And we've been traveling Rome now for 3 days, been walking all around Rome. And today we took a mega fast train. It went like 300 kilometers an hour from Rome to Naples. And now we are here in Pompeii. So let's see what all we can find today. The day is beautiful, the sun is shining. There's not a lot of people in here, so that's awesome. But let's go touring around Pompeii. Pompeii was cool. It was huge, big. Take good shoes if you go there. But also the main thing that were open that you could see were the houses of the regular people. All the cool temples and stuff that I really wanted to visit and to sit were behind bars. But that's life. This is how the kitchens looked like. There's an oven. And they used to also have the toilets next to the ovens in the kitchens in the houses in Pompeii. They would have had the beams for the upper floors in the houses. So the dudes back in the Pompeii, they were cool because they had temples for all the gods. This is the one for Isis. Unfortunately, it's barred. I'm holding my camera between the bars. But this is the temple of Isis. And as you might see, so there's my Isis tattoo and my Isis ring in her temple for her honor. Wish I could go sit on those stairs just to hang with Isis for a while. This has to do. Let's continue. Here we are at the temple of Athena and Hercules. The walls are missing, the columns are missing. So the beds in the Pompeii Brothel look kind of hard. I guess that was not the only thing that was hard in here. Even the pillows are made of stone. And this is clearly the toilet in the brothel, just behind the corner. Vesuvius was quiet and magnificent, but seeing the destruction that she made back in the day was kind of heartbreaking. And one place that I really wanted to see in Pompeii was the Villa of Mysteries. And it is located on the far outskirts corner of Pompeii, so not many of the tourists traveling Pompeii were in there. So we got to spend a good time staring at the beautiful murals and paintings on the walls. Each room had different type of paintings, like this beautiful black room with a lot of Egyptian images on the walls. And well, Romans, they did adore the Egyptian culture, just as I do. And there's a lot of Egyptian vibes all over in Rome, but also in Pompeii. But some of these have been, destroyed, and with the early excavations, some of them have been preserved and kind of with old methods, and so they are not, perfect in any way. But I still felt that seeing all these painted walls was one of the most exciting things visiting Pompeii to me. And the most exciting one is this depiction, as they say that it would be about the initiation into the Dionysian cult. And this is the best depiction that we do have of initiation. And what are the different parts in this, sequence of paintings on the wall is like, it starts with the reading of the liturgy of the ritual. Then a pregnant young woman offers sacred cakes, and the preparation of ritual meal for the deity. Then Silenus is playing the lyre next to little boys with Paniskoi mythological figures who lived in the woods. Then we see the initiate turning in horror when she sees a Silenus and Satyr's theatrical mask in hand consuming wine. And then we see Dionysus in the arms of Ariadne in perfect union of the divine and the human worlds. Then comes the unraveling of the phallus, a symbol of power of nature to create. Then the last part of the mural couldn't be seen because it was on the wall next to the window and you couldn't go into the room. But the last part is the flagellation, an orgiastic dance with which the Dionysian cycle concludes. Overall, the trip to Pompeii, even though it took a long while, 2 trains and whatnot, it was totally worth. Naples I didn't like that much, so we came back to Rome the same day. And everybody goes to Fontana di Trevi, of course, when you go to Rome. It's really easy to go from the Spanish Steps through Fontana di Trevi and then to Pantheon. But we decided to dig even deeper. So it's not a place that many people know about, but it's next to Fontana di Trevi, and you get to go down underneath the earth and see where the water to the fountains, for example, comes in. And this place was very interesting. There was like few people on top of us. It was warm, humid. You see the clear water there, but this is kind of peek into the geniusness of the Roman people, how modern they were, like millennia ago. There were a lot of coins, vessels, things that they used, and to see this place, it was like, I don't know, 3-4 euros each. So I totally think it's worth taking a peek. So these were some of the highlights of our trip to Rome, and I want to end this with my favorite place in the whole city. Even though with all the big crowds in the Pantheon Square, when I put on my headphones and I listened to that cello music and I was just staring at those columns, I managed to find a totally peaceful, quiet moment in the midst of all. And the week was long. We walked like 15 kilometers a day, and we saw much and we did much, but still, during the circumstances of the world, there was this bittersweet taste or flavor into all of that. But I hope, because I know that most of us, probably all of us, are feeling the turmoil and a whole lot of mixed feelings. So I just want to wish you all, guys, that wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you can find a place of beauty and comfort somewhere, even for a moment, to build up the hope that maybe one day things would be awesome again. Because that's what I hope. That's what I hope for all of us. So until next time, bye guys.